Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fabric Spotlight. This is a series of talks where we discuss cloud infrastructure and entrepreneurship with industry leaders. Today, I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming Amit Zavery. He is the General Manager of Business Application Platforms for Google Cloud. Amit, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Rajan, for having me.
Absolutely. We'd love to talk everything that you're doing at Google right now, but I would like to roll back in time and would love to understand your background before you joined Google, and what are the experiences that shaped your career.
Sure, and I'm happy to share that. I mean, it's a background pretty straightforward. I joined Oracle straight out of grad school, and I was at Oracle for 24 years, building a lot of different types of software, including enterprise software. I started in the interactive video server world, but then started working in CRM. Then I worked in the middleware. And the last 10 years, I was very focused on building out the cloud platform, be focused around, especially around middleware technologies and analytics. So it's all about platform as a service and how do we deliver capabilities for customers who want to be able to take their workloads and be able to run that in a much more scalable manner, be it on-premise or the cloud or hybrid. So last few years, I've been very focused on kind of taking out all the capabilities and making it easier for customers to kind of move towards that direction. I joined Google probably a year and probably a couple of months ago, so around 14, 15 months. The main goal here was to really take some of the learnings I've had and bring a lot of the enterprise background to Google Cloud and help Google Cloud customers really take advantage of a lot of the innovation in this space by building out an application platform as well as all the different platform service capabilities so they can integrate, build applications, be able to kind of enable them in the modern world they require, especially in the multi-cloud and hybrid capabilities. So that's the background I bring to the table, and the goal has been to really make it easy and easy for customers to adopt a lot of these latest technologies and really evolve as they kind of start moving towards that direction.
Fantastic. You touched upon some elements of the strategy that you're bringing into Google on the infrastructure side. It'd be great if you can elaborate on some of the key areas as on the Google Cloud infrastructure.
Yeah, definitely. So Google, I mean, what I've been impressed with since I've joined Google Cloud is the amount of innovation as well as the investment Google has made in the infrastructure and overall in the Google Cloud capabilities. Infrastructure in terms of technology, no doubt, Google has been doing a lot of investment over the last many years. If you look at the capabilities we provide on the compute, storage, and network, it's probably as innovative and differentiated as possible in this marketplace today. We have a lot of amazing capabilities on the networking side, very highly available secured systems, capability to kind of make sure that you are available globally in 24/7 ability as well. And then what we've been doing is kind of taking the infrastructure we build and building a lot of the higher level services on top of that. So capabilities like Anthos, for example, provides multi-cloud and hybrid mechanisms. So as you know, Google was the inventor of Kubernetes and is CEO on those new capabilities for containers. And we've taken that to the next level by providing technologies like Anthos for customers to be able to write once and deploy this in any cloud or hybrid and on-prem as well as on Google, AWS, and Azure as well, right? So we're trying to make sure that we have that capabilities for customers to do this very easily. A second thing we're doing also is providing a very, very elaborate data platform. And specifically, if you look at the data platform for customers to do analytics on top of it, as well as be able to kind of understand the usage of the information and bring it in easily and be able to analyze that data as well. So we have database services, data warehousing services. So we have, of course, a product called BigQuery, which is probably one becoming the industry standard for doing data warehousing in the cloud. Very scalable, highly available system, and very, very performant. Similarly, on the database side, Spanner and Bigtable and other things we've added as well. So that's another area which we have invested heavily as well. Then, of course, AI/ML. I mean, we can't talk enough about what Google has been able to do on the AI/ML side. If you look at TensorFlow, for example, is invented at Google, but we have a lot of now frameworks and capabilities around document management, it's vision APIs, all that stuff is very heavily used now in the industry as a standard almost. Security, similarly, we've been building out a lot of security capabilities. And then over top of that, we have built out an application platform for being able to quickly build an app, writing code or no code, depending on what you choose. So you don't have to be a developer to use a platform, or if you want to be a very hardcore developer, we also provide you all the CI/CD and all underlying DevOps capabilities with much more modern tools around that. And then be able to integrate those applications and then API management around it as well. So pretty elaborate, extensive, deep, as well as broad platform now, all the way from infrastructure, platform, and then of course we'd be remiss if we don't speak about what we're doing in the collaboration and productivity space with G Suite and the Meet product we have been quite heavily investing in and providing capabilities. So pretty well thought out and end-to-end capabilities now.
Yeah, it seems like you have pretty much hit on various elements of a comprehensive strategy for the enterprise from what you just mentioned, because I've always thought of Google initially more on data and search, and obviously you folks are now going rapidly towards the enterprise. Are there more elements in the enterprise strategy that enables you to penetrate into the enterprise market, and that you would like to talk about, either the go-to-market or the approach or anything that you could talk about on the enterprise strategy that you just talked about right now? Elaborate on that more.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think one of the big changes we have made over the last year and a half since Thomas Kurian, who joined as a CEO of Google Cloud, as well as we have hired a lot of leaders from the enterprise space, be it in the go-to-market side or on the product side or the support side, partnerships everywhere else. So we have now brought in people, leaders from companies like Oracle, SAP, Salesforce.com, AWS, Microsoft, VMware. So you now have folks who have done this for many years. Google Cloud always had great technology, great products. I think the part which we have now added to it is really bringing the customer view into some of the innovation we're doing and providing a lot more enterprise capabilities, be it in terms of how we do account management, how we do relationships with our customers, and we have hired a lot of reps to provide that relationship for our customers in the enterprise space. We also have extensively built out a customer experience team. So be it a support or professional services, so that we can provide a very high touch customer experience for our enterprise customers if they choose to, if they need it as well. From the way we do contracting, the way we do our go-to-market has been simplified a lot for our enterprise customers. So it's a lot of predictability, but also a lot of flexibility. A lot of enterprise customers want easy to understand agreements, but also they want specific things they need in terms of how they do the agreements with companies like Google or other cloud providers. So we brought a lot of best practices around enterprise customer needs into our go-to-market in terms of how we do supporting our customers, as well as how we partner and how we build the products. So that has really changed a lot. And a lot of our enterprise customers are really finding a lot of value in terms of working with Google, where we provide them a lot of predictability and flexibility, but also we are there as a partner for them. With our account management team and a support team, there's a lot more longer-term relationships we have built. And we are in there to really make sure customers are successful with the investment they already have made, as well as the investment they're taking with Google Cloud. So we understand their current ecosystem is not about all Google versus nothing kind of mindset. So that's why the multi-cloud, the hybrid strategy really resonating a lot with the enterprise customers. Our packaging and pricing has been simplified a lot as well. So we are allowing customers to have ability to understand how to buy with us, how to contract with us, and simplify their experience as well. So we're focusing a lot in terms of the whole end-to-end customer experience and really catering to large enterprises or other enterprise companies in terms of how they want to work with us by bringing those kind of capabilities into our products. And the product direction is similarly kind of influenced by the enterprise needs as well.
And that's fantastic. The statistics that I've seen around is, while there is a great momentum to shift to the cloud, about the cloud adoption right now is about 25% in the enterprise. still about 75% is outside of the cloud. And some of the elements that I believe that contributes to that is some of the nervousness about their data in the cloud, some of critical data in the cloud. Uh, how do you see that from a Google perspective, and how do you reassure enterprises, or is this a fully solved problem and it's just a matter of time?
No, we completely get the apprehension customers might have about the data. And Google being a data company, we understand that very well. So what we've done with Google Cloud to be very clear to our customers and reassure them is, one, the data they bring or run in Google Cloud is owned by them. We have no visibility into the data. We do not have any kind of ability to look at it or use it in any form or shape. It's completely secured. It's encrypted as is stored inside our Google Cloud, as well as in REST, as I said, in Google Cloud, as well as when it's been transmitted. So we encrypt it end to end. We provide all the tools for customers to manage the keys and access to whoever they want to provide without Google employees or Google contractors or Google systems being aware of that information. So we are probably just we are providing them infrastructure to manage the information and the data, but we are not doing anything with that data directly. Right? I think customers started to understand what we provide and getting very, very reassured. We have, as I said, a lot of large enterprise customers now, be it in financial institutions, be it telecommunication companies, be it government agencies and other very secured and sensitive industries. Healthcare is another example, where they're feeling very comfortable with the way we have been doing our systems and how we manage information, and what kind of tools we provide them to be assured about, one, how the data is treated, and second, the security we build around it. Right? We have invested heavily from ground up. Security is a key tenet as part of our product design and product delivery. And it is really being thought through to ensure there is no data leakage or data kind of sharing or any information being provided to anybody who's not authorized to do so. So that has been our goal, and we keep on learning and improving our way of doing things. But you have to be aware that companies like Google and who can invest in a lot of the security and things really helps customers a lot, because the chances of all this security issues customers face in their own data centers are higher now than a lot of cloud providers' infrastructure. So we are doing a lot more work, and there's huge, very expensive teams whose full-time jobs are to really provide data security as well as assurances to our customers that information is secured and available only to people who are authorized to see it and use it.
Fantastic. Now I'm going to digress a little bit from our topic on the cloud and actually talk about somewhat of a present situation on the COVID-19. Some of us have had the absolute luxury of being productive equally from home as we were at the office. But what if you can elaborate a little bit on how Google is helping enterprises in this scenario of a distributed workforce and working from different locations?
Yeah, no, happy to. I think it's an unfortunate situation, no doubt. There are industries and people who are very heavily impacted with COVID-19. The time we live in right now, we have to be, as a tech industry and the tech where we are a little more fortunate to be able to work remotely, take that experience and help other industries and other teams to be able to be productive while they manage their situation as much as they can, right? So at Google, we have been very proactive, both in terms of making sure all our employees and our customers are safe, as well as provide our learnings and our tools to help our customers and partners to take advantage of our learnings as well. So, for example, the tools we have built, like a video conferencing tool called Google Meet, we have made it free, available to all customers out there till end of September. So that they can take advantage of the innovation in video conferencing and meeting and be able to stay in touch with everyone as a company without having to have people kind of take undue risk, right? So we have made that today, for example, on Meet, we're doing more than 3 million new users per day, and we do 3 billion minute meetings per day. right? So it's a pretty extensively used, and the volume is going up considerably every day. And we've been able to scale that and keep those businesses running because of the infrastructure we've built. Similarly, we are working with a lot of government agencies to help them with the hospital management systems they need, with their ability to find PPP, for example, PPE, like the whole protective equipment, for example, kind of how do you procure that? How do you manage that? So helping hospitals, government agencies, we're providing a lot of tools and AI ML capabilities for running those systems as well. We provide a lot of no code development tools for free for amount of time when they need it, so that they can build applications easily and quickly and be more productive. The biggest thing we want to make sure is that there's business continuity for all the folks who are running the business and who are dependent on Google Cloud. They don't have any disruption. Or if they're scaling, for example, the companies like Loblaw or Lowe's and others who are kind of, the volumes have gone up 30x, 40x over the last few months. And we want to make sure the business, when they move to the digital transformation, the businesses are not disrupted. The business continuity has been a big focus for us. And while we talk about cost savings and helping them manage their systems without incurring a lot more cost. So providing flexibility in terms of payment terms, whatever else they might need to really go through this difficult time. So tons of stuff going on across Google broadly, as well as specifically in Google Cloud, with our infrastructure and our platform services to help customers kind of manage the situation. And we are here to share ideas, share products, share innovation, so that we can jointly do better than otherwise would have been possible.
That's very nice. In fact, many of us have also become avid users of the Google Meet in our companies. So I can pretty much attest to the fact that I think your strategy is succeeding in that space and helping us actually through this process. I'm going to shift back to focus to somewhat about what Fabric does and see what you think about what we are doing and how we can, how you think companies, startups like ours can work with Google. You know, as you are aware, Fabric starts companies from scratch. We are focused on building infrastructure software companies which run on the top of cloud in the area of security, in the area of increasing the quality for collaboration all the way to the device, and a variety of other tool sets. How do you see this adding to what Google does, the startups that we create? What do you think about the Fabric model? What do you about co-creating Studio, as well as some of the startups that we create? How do they work with Google?
So I think Google has been a very startup friendly from the beginning. Google Cloud specifically, we have been working with a lot of the startups in the Valley, but globally as well. And I think the model you guys have put in place at Fabric is definitely something which we care about, and we would want to see how we keep on doing better joint innovation, as well as joint way for helping these companies evolve and grow, so we can solve the bigger and broader customer problems, right? So our goal here is to really, as I said earlier, is to allow customers to go through the digital transformation journey and make sure that they can deliver a lot of value to enterprise customers. So for example, if you look at, when we talked about some of the enterprise customer related questions, things like what are the common workloads customers have today in enterprise, right? Now they have VMware, they have Oracle, they have SAP. We provide them a lot of tooling to move that workload easily and quickly to the cloud, right? So that they can get advantage of moving to the cloud. So we're working with partnering with a lot of the startups and companies who are building tools and capabilities which can help make that migration and movement happen, right? We've been doing some acquisitions in this space. If you followed some of the things we've bought recently, like Cloud Simple, for example, provides that easy and quick movement for VMware workloads from on-premise to the cloud with one point click kind of a flow. So customers don't have to take a lot of time and energy and expense to move their workloads. Similarly, we did an acquisition of Looker to make analytics easier to happen, like self-service analytics. So the customers who want to run reports and get insights into the data, it can happen much more easily and quickly. Recently, we bought a company called AppSheet, which provides no-code development tools, so that anybody who is an analyst who doesn't have any computer background, programming background, can still and mobile enable them without writing any code, right? So now suddenly you're democratizing the application development process. So I think the way to look at this as we evolve and we work with companies with the Fabric, for example, is to find those areas where there could be innovations which we can partner together and kind of drive that adoption, as well as solving some of the use cases customers are kind of grappling with today, right? So that's really how I look at it. I don't think there's one answer. It's that each of this space I talked about: infrastructure, security, application development, data platform, productivity tools, industry solutions, all of them have needs which we cannot independently by ourselves do everything as Google. So it has to be in conjunction with some of the quick innovation or some of the things which are the companies you are working with or the Fabric is kind of helping incubate. We can work jointly and evolve from there.
Nice. And, the Fabric, we have been looking at the edge cloud that is emerging, and we see that there is more and more prevalence of the edge cloud along with 5G. While they don't necessarily have to connect, but there is a symbiotic relationship there. Want to understand from your perspective, what is the Google's approach to edge cloud? How do you work with telecom companies in the space? Maybe independent of the edge cloud with 5G or in together? I'd like to understand a little bit more about your strategy on that space.
Sure. No, I think it's going to be one of the big game changer in the next few years is 5G and the edge computing, right? So we do believe strongly in that area. We've been doing a lot of partnerships in that space, and we also have a lot of product capabilities to allow customers to take advantage of 5G, as well as be able to innovate around it, and then use that capabilities to do better services and systems because of 5G and edge. So we recently announced a partnership with AT&T, for example, on 5G, and building a solution for 5G for customers to take advantage jointly between Google and AT&T, for example. We also have a lot of telecom capabilities in our products today, right? So we are building out and we have delivered things like Anthos for edge, for example, right? So you can take a very low profile low profile underlying infrastructure and take a lot of the 5G and edge workloads and run that easily using Anthos. So it can run on the edge. It still uses Kubernetes and containers and a lot of the modern technologies, and it's very fast and efficient. But now you can run this wherever you choose to. It doesn't have to be a large public cloud system, for example. It could be on an edge running on your own infrastructure, wherever you choose to. So we're providing a lot of those capabilities now. And then for API management on the edge, where you might have services running on the edge systems, be for retailers, where they might have edge devices, healthcare workers, where they might have outposts of hospitals or whatever may be the case. Similarly, with the telecommunication providers and other industries, we are building those solutions using our AI ML capabilities and Anthos and API management through Apogee and all that stuff as a solution which can be delivered as edge capabilities for our customers as well. So there are a lot of things going on. This is something which we are very active and continuing to partner as well as continue to innovate ourselves so we can build those solutions for our customers.
Where do you see the applications with regard to utilizing these edge capabilities and 5G? What are the new applications that you see evolving? And also, how are the existing applications transforming themselves to take advantage of it?
The industry, as I said, the retail is a very good industry where I think the edge computing is going to become a big way for not having to run a lot of large workloads on the edge, but you can still do a lot of computation and a lot of innovation and insights into your data, even though you might be running that out of a retail store, not in the central data center. I think healthcare is an area where we are seeing a lot of interest to be able to do telemedicine and be able to now push the amount of information you can share with the customer, with the patient systems, and the backend be connected through 5G and be able to move volume of images without getting be able to get good insights without having network issues, right? So that's also starting to become a lot more interesting for many of our customers. I think I think we're scratching the surface in terms of what is possible once you move to this very high bandwidth and ability to kind of secure the data and be able to run large data related stuff on the edge. You can do a lot more than is possible today. So we're starting to see changes happening in some of this industry, some of the work we're doing with our industry partners in this area. We're hearing a lot of interesting ideas, and we're continuing to kind of make sure we incorporate that into the solutions we build, and then jointly partner with the industry leaders in that particular area so that we can bring the industry expertise from those partners while we deliver the back end as well as the technology innovation required to make edge and 5G really capable and deliver on the profit promise of those areas as well.
I suppose multiplayer gaming is another area which can take advantage of the edge, AR, VR, and other places, I would guess.
No doubt. Yeah, I think if you see, we recently announced a very large customer partnership in a way with Activision Blizzard, where the whole gaming industry is getting transformed big time because of some of the things you will see with 5G and edge. And Google has been pretty much on the forefront of gaming, as you know, and we've been having a lot of many customers and partners in the space. So combination of what they can do with YouTube, for example, with Google Cloud, where they can stream things much faster, but also they can take advantage of multi-gaming using AR, VR, where you require a lot of high bandwidth at the edge as well. So you're 100% right. I think that each of these industries are going to get transformed. And we will be able to take advantage of a lot of this things which we always dreaming about, and now you can put it into action. And same thing happening with autonomous driving, as you can imagine, right? The amount of data required for the auto industry, it was limited by the network, and amount of maneuvering you can do was limited amount of information you can collect. But now you can do a lot of that work on the edge devices. I mean, you can think of a car in a way as an edge device, where it can connect to the network and other peripheries around it with other cars and all that stuff. And we've been always talking about it for many years, and a lot of the things are now coming true.
Got it. And I suppose drones and other kind of capabilities also can be enhanced further with an edge location.
100%. I think you look at deliveries and everything else which is happening now with the drone. You want to be able to kind of control and manage this stuff. So I think that is 100%, as you were saying earlier, that's so much stuff possible. Let's see how it evolves. We have to just get started getting ready and make sure we build the right things. And I think we will come up with ideas and things which you've not even thought about yet very soon.
You've been working from home, and how do you find the experience? What keeps you, what is it that you're doing differently, given the fact that we're all been working from home, each of us have different experiences? How do you see that coming along in this present environment?
Yeah, no, I think one thing of course, being in tech industry, we've been fortunate to have the ability as well as the technology to work remotely without having too much of an impact from the day-to-day productivity you require, right? But I think it still has limitations, as everybody knows, that you cannot substitute human interaction. So we have to do some things we have learned over the last few months in terms of what we can improve for our everybody else we work with. So we're doing a lot more reach outs, one-on-one calls with individuals, the people and employees, for example, who are young and who don't have that much space to work from. They might be sharing apartments or houses, and they want to do video conferences, and it takes a lot of space in terms of that you need to have a little more privacy. So kind of helping them through that situation and helping be more flexible, letting employees take more time off, letting employees have a flexible schedule. So we rotate a lot of different ways and ideas, and every team kind of picks what makes sense for them. And we've been very flexible to allow each of the team to come up with their own working style. There's not one size fits all. I think the flexibility as well as kind of regular reach out as well as communication is the key to a lot of the stuff. All the way from Sundar, for example, from the executive team from at Google and every leaders inside Google, we have been very, very proactive in terms of communication. There's a lot more information being shared, a lot of resources been provided, a lot of tools and capabilities available for every employee to learn from, and then sharing best practices, as well as providing space for employees to have time as needed, so that the people are not overwhelmed. I think the initial stage, we saw the productivity really go up because people were just kind of getting onto things and really working very hard because they didn't have commute or time to spend on the road. But we're trying to balance that with saying to employees, please take some time off, take care of your mental health, take care of your needs in the family. A lot of people have young kids who don't have daycare anymore. You do need time to really look after them. And you now have to, many employees never had to worry about food. For example, at Google used to be taken care of from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now you do have to deal with some of that things. So it require a lot of time as individual. So we've been really doing a lot of things to really make it easier. And I don't think so we have all the answers, but we hear our employees, we hear their issues, and we keep on learning and keep on improving and making sure that we're taking care of their work needs, home needs, as well as mental health needs.
Nice. And finally, Fabric is all about entrepreneurs. And that is the core theme as to when we co-create companies with them. What would be your advice from your vantage point, particularly for young entrepreneurs, and especially now in this environment?
No, I think things for entrepreneurs, I think this is a great time to really pressure test your business plan. Right. I mean, there are a lot of things going on, and if there is interest in what you're doing, you will see it very easily in this time frame. I think entrepreneurs really need to be cognizant of what customer problems you're solving, and are you really hitting the mark for what a customer or anybody needs. And there's a lot of challenges many companies are facing today. Right, they're going through a lot of changes, and if you have ideas and ability to really help them through this difficult time, you will find customers for life. So using this as an opportunity to really, one, pressure test, second, to really solve real problems, and third is to really be have customer empathy to understand what is going on and do things a little more jointly and work very closely with customers. They are looking for help. We are seeing customers really increase the amount of time they're spending in digital transformation. And in tech industry, we are the ones who will solve some of these problems customers have. So it's a great time in that regard. I know it's challenging in terms of getting funding, maybe in some cases, or getting time, or hiring people, or getting productivity out of your teams. But if you put in the right model, build the right partnerships, and identify the right niche or customer pain points, you can be successful for long term. You can build a good brand, you are solving good problems, and take the advantage of the innovation you create by helping customers through a very difficult time period. At Google, of course, we continue partnering with a lot of startups because of that, as well as a lot of mature startups as well, right? So if you look at our marketplace today, we have companies across the spectrum, startups, we have mid-sized tech companies, we have very large public tech companies who are our partners, and they all play in this ecosystem to really solve a business need of a customer. As long as you can fit into the narrative and a story, the entrepreneurs can do very well. It's time to be lean. I think that you have advantage now that you might not need a lot of real estate in a way, so you might be able to save some money and use that as a way to invest in your products. And then work with, we're happy to work with any of the startups. We provide them a lot of credits, for example, from Google Cloud, if they're doing a lot of innovative work, so they don't have to spend a lot of capital to get and build, to run those services they're building. So again, look for good partners, be it Google Cloud or other vendors out there, but also look for the right business problems, and then make sure that you focus and kind of stay true to what needs are there in the industry. People have to be smart, have to become frugal in a way, but I think that gives you a good advantage.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some of the best startups that I did were during periods of great recession. So and some of the best companies that have emerged were during times of recession. So I would agree with you completely, Amit. So thanks very much for your time. It was really great speaking with you. Everyone, please stay safe and stay tuned for another episode of the Spotlight series.